That was definitely one of those games where you just gotta pick it up and do what you can. Acno was looking terrified of Swatter there for multiple reasons, but what I want to dive into in this set specifically is what your dodge means to you and what GCing does to you as a player when you waste your dodge like that. We saw GCs come from both players multiple times, and that is a mechanic in Brawlhalla. It's one of those mechanics. It does take your dodge. It does leave you kind of dangerous in the air, and in this set specifically, we're going to note multiple instances where it just could have gone any other way without the GC he used. Oh, that was a mistake. Without the GC being used there. I want to look at this first stock specifically because this was a big instance here. You can see that Swatter does already have a big lead for himself, and they both have been GCing for a while now throughout the set. But in this specific instance here, you can see how much it actually costs him when he wastes his dodge right here. He's got the movement. He's got what it takes. He goes for this gauntlet downlight, and it doesn't work. It's already gone. That's going to be a three-piece Russian Mafia. That combo, not always true, but when you waste your dodge like that, you got no way of getting out of it. That cost him that, I want to say, first game of that set, and it continued on throughout the entire set. Multiple times throughout the gameplay, you're going to see both players throughout their dodge, going for a GC, top of the map, bottom of the map, and a lot of the times, I even saw what looked like Swatter go for it at the top of the map at one point, just trying to get that kill confirm off the top to reverse a stock, but it doesn't always work out. And we're going to see it again here as just through the playthrough, they kind of just go at it normally. A GC is going to come out, and that's just one of the normal ones that goes through. Another one. What's that? Boom. Immediately rushed up on, punished with a stomp, and goes for a combo that's not even true. We want to play that back. That wasn't a downlight Sair that we saw. That was a D-light Nair. Your dodge is your most valuable tool in a game like Brawlhalla, so wasting it like that is going to get you hit with some unorthodox combos. That's a D-light Nair, kill off the top, and that happened multiple times, caused Acno multiple stocks in that set. I'm going to throw it back to the casters. That was definitely a crazy one from Sajaru. He brought that back, and I want to show you guys exactly how the gauntlets in hand made a key point, and I got that entire last stock for you right here, right now. We're going to look down just from the start after he takes that first stock, and we're just going to look at what he does. The ninja is going for a bit of platform gameplay here. You see him throwing that weapon multiple times back to back to back to back. He's just trying to build some room for himself. Sajaru finally disarms him. He has the gauntlets in hand, and you can see the multiple nairs he goes for. He reads the crossover, and I want to slow it down right there. As you can see where he goes for again after that one sidelight. That one sidelight doesn't just turn into nothing else. He gets that sidelight, and it turns straight into the Nair. He waits it out, goes for the second Nair, and the weapon starve becomes instant. He plays it out perfectly, and he keeps that pressure going on even into the next section of this clip here. If you want to play this one out too, it's the same thing. He's still unarmed, the ninja. The cannon is in hand, and he's immediately unarmed again. You can see Sajaru holding that spot on the ground. He doesn't want to commit too hard to anything. The downlight there adds on even more damage, and this is what holding pressure does. He's still in that same spot. We've never left that spot. He doesn't want to commit too hard in any direction. He knows the ninja's coming towards him. He's seen the platform gameplay coming off the ninja. He's going on these platforms off of them. And Sajaru is just holding his ground. The damage buildup is so strong on the gauntlets. You can see the combos, you can see the reads, and it stacks up to the point where the ninja has completely lost control of a game that he had the lead on. Taza mentioned it multiple times. Those gauntlets, when that buildup is there and the damage comes through, it's going to be so easy to KO. Even though it took a while there on the Great Hall, the high ceiling, the recoveries, not just it, multiple recoveries in a row, multiple damage buildup, it's going to finally get it done. I'm going to throw that back to the casters. Now, that was a nail-biter top 4 game. That game landed to top 4 there. Zyder was looking kind of scary. That was a momentum shift. We like to talk a lot about what happened in the game, but we also like to talk about what happened out of the game there, and that was a Game 5. Down 2-0, Zyder pulls it out of nowhere, in fact. It was kind of crazy where we came from. Let's look at this stock here. If we want to play that at normal speed, it's just a common bit of unarmed, and we Koji players, we like our bow, and it starts off quick. He hits that first sidelight, and he's running with that momentum. He goes for that swift play. You can see he drags his opponent up there, but what was that? The classic Koji GC side sig. He loves it, he loves it, he loves it. He wants to get as much damage as he can out of one place. So just look at this movement, this momentum. He gets that recovery up. He knows that Sejaru just used a jump there, and he dodged back to the stage a bit earlier. So where do you have to go? You can either take that that movement and fall down with it, or you can go a bit higher. You don't want to go a bit higher versus Bo. Koji has that end sig up there. He has the side sig to the side. Which one is it going to be? He chooses the side sig. He chooses correct, and Sejaru pays the price there. But it doesn't just stop there. That was one side sig. He was feeling two side sigs. Another Koji classic on the ground here. He hits the side light, charges it just for a split second to catch the spot dodge. Look at that. Look at the frame advantage on that. He knows that it's gonna go through if he doesn't hold it long enough. So he hits the side light. Just a bit wait. You know, we can wait out with him. And then he lets go of it. To the face. That momentum carries on into the next stock. It doesn't stop there. I know Ajax, Duke, they all love to talk about that extra credit. Well, he's getting a ton of it in this stock. If we want to play this at 2 times speed, just because that's how fast he was playing, right? I might as well just play on 1 time. It looks like 2 times no matter what. He has the sword in hand. We're looking at some axe hits here, but the sword hits. They're coming everywhere. He has them off stage. He reads the coming back to the stage. He waits it out, and that axe recovery, man, that axe recovery, it's angled, it's forced. You're always going the same place when you throw it out. So you can just look at how he uses it on the wall. Zyder, he doesn't really play axe, does he? But he knows. Every single player knows. It's going to go straight up that wall because it can't go in its forward direction that it wants to. He throws it out. It comes up, and Zyder is waiting right there to punish it. Smooth and steady. Downlight Sair. That's the stock. The recovery was caught out. He's got nothing left. Oh, he does have something left. The recovery's not gone, but he does get the ground pound off to confirm that stock. But just looking back at it one more time, it's that angled recovery that he keeps up a straight line because he's at the wall. He can't do anything about it. He can't steer it. It's not a sword recovery. It's confirmed. Beautiful ground pound from Zyder to close that off and secure his spot in the top 4. Back to the casters. That was a game 5 for the ages. Akno taking it at the start, bringing us into that 2-0 spot that every player wants to be at this point in the tournament. But Swada does not give up. He pulls out that legendary Vodhalla, and he's going to show you how his legendary hammer play adapts to what is needed. He pulls out his hammer, and he notices almost immediately what's going on in the gameplay. Akno is already high up in the air. He's been high up in the air. That's where sword players like to be. They like to come at you down with that dare, and that's going to harm you when a player starts to figure it out. If you want to hit play here just at normal speed, you can already see Swada's fishing for these recoveries, but he's also fishing for these GCs to catch out that movement. He goes for that GC downline, and it's going to do a lot of harm to Akno there as he gets that first hit, turns it into 2 hits, turns it into a bit of punish by himself, but that leads into a good spot for him. We want to go into the next clip. It only continues on. You hit play here. What do you have for Swada? Look at this. More fishing for that recovery because he knows Akno likes to be in the air. And it is beautiful. He pulls out the reverse rush, and he gets that recovery, turns it into a GC downlight in the air. And that Sair puts Akno into the red. And when you're on red versus hammer, well, that story's been told enough times, and I'll tell it to you again. You're in a very dangerous spot, and that Sair at the end there, I don't have it on this replay, but at the end there, took him out completely, and that damage lead came from that adaptation. Those reads, those movement reads, those aerial punishes, just so clean. I want to watch that one more time. Look at this. How much hammer do you have to play to see this coming for yourself? Hammer recovery in the middle of the stage. What's that angle looking like? Only Swada knows this. Straight down, straight back up, perfectly placed GC Sair. That is clean. That is so clean. I mean, the casters already told you how clean it was when he was up there, but I'm going to pass it back to them, see if they can give you a bit more on the next game. Very, very beautiful from Power Ranger there, showing off why he is PR1 and the better Wushang. Starting off, it was not always a mirror match. Chun-Li not Wushang, but he's still a mirror there with the signatures. We want to look at the starting of that set. The first game, I'm going to start off right there for you. It's going to be what Wushang loves best. It's going to be quick. It's going to be simple. You're going to notice it right away. Look at that. Boom. Simple dodge read, catches that spot dodge. It's what every Spear player wants to do. It's what every Wushang player wants to do on both weapons. But he takes it a step further. He doesn't just play it like that on the spear. He has both weapons in mind when he's playing this out. I paused that perfectly. You guys got to shout me on where I paused that perfectly. Look at this dodge punish. That was a spot dodge. I paused it maybe too perfectly. Let's see the frame right before it. Boom, dodge is gone. This downlight hits swiftly, catches it out, and that's a quick 3-piece for the gauntlets. It goes even further. Maybe it's even a 4-piece for the gauntlets there also. But that's not where it stops. It continues on. Another 3-piece coming up real quick for you. That's another dodge caught out right there in the air. And this is why you pick this character. When people make mistakes like this, you're going to get so much value out of it. That spot dodge is huge value. He backdashes just to get right in position. Look at that movement. It's pristine. It's clean. And he carries it up even into the next matchup, into the next game. Clear that off. Let's see what happens here. How these dodge reads getting insane value worked out for them. 3-piece into the signature, not usually true, but just because we had that extra dodge, that extra value, we're going to see the SIG come out instead of the side air. The side air may or may not have worked here, but the SIG definitely gets the job done perfectly. That's going to be a clean KO. Congrats to Power Ranger for winning that set. Pass it off to you guys. Oh, Duke, you don't even have to say anything. You were doing my job there for me a second ago, talking about those dodge reads. Well, Duke mentioned it already. I'm going to mention it one more time. Those dodge reads were crazy. That's kind of the key point of Greatsword. It's like those string weapons, those guitars, those gauntlets. You want your dodge reads, but Hazard L pushes it one step further. It's Greatsword. It's more than just dodge reads. And if it was up to me, I'd be showing you every single clip. I've got a montage of Greatsword play here for you, so it goes on forever and ever and ever. But I want to look at key points and key plays that really pushed his Greatsword and made it the key difference. Right there, you'll notice that that's the most common Greatsword approach, right? You go for that side light, and then you dash forward on the end light. That's normal. That's nothing too crazy, all right? You want to move to the next game, it's going to be basically the same thing. That key Greatsword, you dash forward, you go for your follow-up, and it's consistent with it. But there is one game that I really want to look at, and it highlights how important your movement is when you play Greatsword. This one is just beautiful. Just watch this play right here. He gets that read, and he immediately pushes it over. We're on a stage here. Look at the split second where he actually even ends up off stage almost. Like, it's a very short and noticeable thing. He's almost off stage, and he's still able to turn it back instantly for that spot dodge punish, and he gets insane value out of it. If you're playing Greatsword, that's how you gotta play it. This Greatsword play, even Hardy MJ could respect it. Even he could love it, all right? So you really gotta look for a movement like that when you're playing Greatsword. It's more than just the read, it's where you are on the map. And I'm gonna pass it back to the casters. Once again, the casters feel the need to tell you guys how it's already being broken down. The Greatsword gameplay was already pushed over to the Hammer gameplay. It was amazing. It was clean. I want to show you guys exactly what they were talking about there as we're going to start right here. We're already pretty deep into the stock, and you can already see how the motion is flowing for him. But it gets even sicker. We're not just talking these couple plays here. We're talking scoops into weapon throws, into nairs, into everything. Watch this right here. This is amazing. This weapon throw setup, common setup to cover your landing as a player, but kind of takes it one step further. This weapon throw connects, and he's going for a highlight reel play here. The downlight into the scoop is looking so sick there. That's Hammer Mastery. I know we watched Swada go crazy with this weapon earlier, but it's not stopping in EU. It's coming all the way to the other side of the world. But that wasn't just it for the Hammer Greatsword montage there. Like, if we continue on, you get even more work done. Side light, end light, another side light, and that was just a small 3-piece. Is it a string weapon? Is it a heavy weapon? You can't seem to tell anymore. Kind of blurring the lines of it all. And I want to close it off with that last game. That last game solidified his spot in the grand finals, and this stock right here was the biggest part of it all. Let's just play this out. Just kind of playing around the map as normal. Opens with a weapon throw, doesn't find the nair they're looking for, but right there, it's another string on Hammer. Isn't that insane? Gets the one nair, sees that there's no dodge available, and it turns into a swift recovery. into a scoop. And it keeps on giving. Hammer is the weapon that apparently keeps on giving everybody. Sair doesn't let him touch the ground. Another Sair. And covers it with the weapon throw. Swift ground pound. Casters, I mean, you must have liked watching that again. But we got another set waiting for us. So I'm going to pass it back to you guys. I'm doing really good myself, Skiff. That was an interesting set. Guichibu pulling out some interesting stuff on the guitars. But we have Stingray, tried and true, always consistent, broiling out that spirit gameplay. And if we want to start right here, I'm going to show you how key points were used to get leads for himself. Starting just right here, you can already see that right there. That's the key just option choice from a spear player that you love to see. This wake up from Guichibu right here is not safe. It's not good for him. He's going to wake up on that, going for that, what it looks like to be a cannon downlight. It's not going to work out against Spear like that. That's how you get hit with 2 downlights in a row every single time. But it's not just Guichibu's fault. Sometimes it's just Stingray doing Stingray things. I'm going to skip this one here and go right into this one. And you can see how he sets up for himself. He's already got the lead. He's already got the momentum. That sidelight, that wasn't what he was looking for. But look at this sidelight. This sidelight connects perfectly fine. And instead of going for that same downlight option that he always goes for, he dashes forward, dashes backwards. He sees Guichibu has already gone for that dodge downward that he likes to go for. He angles himself up perfectly. It's already wrapped up. That's that second side light, and you already know what that means. No dodge on you. It's a D-light Sair. That's a huge lead for Stingray, and it's just coming out of natural spirit gameplay. It's coming out of movement. It's coming out of patience. It's coming out of good option choice. I'm going to send that back to the casters. Game 5. Kosalix never wavers. His mental always stays intact. I've got a lot of Lance gameplay for you guys. Kosalix got a lot of Lance gameplay for you guys. Let's get right into it. Starting it off with the dare. Boomy, slight error in his part. Doesn't get the kill confirm off here, and it kind of seems like it cost him a lot in the mental. That Sair was the last hit Boomy was able to get. Coming back, he disarms himself, and Kosalix sees this opportunity and takes full advantage of it. You can just see him chase Boomy down for that weapon. Boomy actually sees this as well, so you can see he stops forward right here. Goes for that spot dodge, doesn't want to get too greedy. That's just good play from both of them. But right there, that is key. The punish goes it goes whiffed, it goes unpunished, right? And that is so clean, because we're going to look at this. This N-Sig is what he closes it off with. And I want to go back after I circle it for you guys. On this dodge right here is where he's going to end up. Perfect N-Sig. Perfect circle. What can I say? If you want to go back, it's also what he started this off with. A very beautiful set play from earlier in the set. He had the side light. He got the N-Sig. I don't think this is it, but I am going to play this clip. I think this was just a really good play from Kosalix as well, going throughout that entire set. Yo, it is it. So you can see he got it earlier as well. He kind of figured out that Boomy had that pattern, and it is important to keep eyes on players, as they do have certain patterns and certain plays that they're going to go for. This side light N-Sig, sidelight Nair N-Sig is a common dodge option on Ulgrim. If you play Ulgrim, you want to download that, you want to pick that up on it for your play. And I'm excited to see what Kosalix does going forward in the tournament. Casters? Very close game 4 for Megdi there. I want to look at offstage this game. This game was really close all in all together, but there were some key points offstage that really solidified Megdi's point as the winner of that set. Demon Island. One of the most favored maps for Kosalix. Taz has mentioned it multiple times. Kosalix likes going there. He also likes going off stage there. He feels very comfortable. But that Val side sig. That Val side sig was key to making this set go Megdi's favor. And if you want to just hit play here, I'm going to remove that box for you guys. You guys already know how small that wall is. Side sig hits the first time. Megdi does it again. Weapon throw this time. He still makes it back. And that GC downlight ground pound, a very common edgeguard tool that every player uses to cover the wall. You're going to notice that multiple times throughout this set. Again, right here, you have another situation off stage that Megdi's created for himself. He's actually losing till he gets back to the map here. And wait, this might be the same exact play. Oh, it's this one. All right. Same situation as before. Kosalix goes off stage, and he wants to fight his way back. This time, he goes for the GC option, thinking that Megdi is going to come down for the edge guard, and when you use your dodge in the air like this, it's going to be a big punish. You're in a lot of danger. Megdi doesn't waste any time going for the side sig. As soon as he sees it, it's a side sig going down, and it's so clean. It's this small wall. Rayman fans know it. Val fans know it. Akuma fans know it. Those are just Val fans, by the way. It's so clean. The dare comes out perfectly, and it catches out the recovery. Kosalix has no options left coming back to the map. And I think it happens again in the exact same way on the other side. That N-Sig G seed is not good for you, Coslicks. Maybe you can even learn something here. That side stick comes out from Megdi. It's too clean. It's too forward. He's not even gonna pretend. Side stick comes out. It's consistent. Back to the casters. Megdi's been playing super clean, especially with the sword in hand. You heard the casters talking about that stage control. We're going to look at that right here. We're also going to look at how he used that blade to make big advantage for himself when it mattered the most. This is game one. Sword immediately picked up, and Stingray actually had the value here, the most value he could have gotten. Went for that nair that Spear players love going to. You can see he's going higher up for the follow-up, and Megdi immediately wakes up with a downlight recovery at the top of the map. That's so very important because it turns this game where he's actually behind. You can see I'm going to circle it for you right there. He's actually behind on the top, but that downlight picks up at such an important part of the map where it can actually lead to a very early KO. That's just one of the things Megdi was doing. This is the part we want to look at a lot, though, the stage control, the double side lights he was going for. You must have noticed it a ton of times. He was going for double side lights. Those lead into so much coverage of the map. Just look at how much ground this double side light covers. The first side light pushes them away the first time. That's so simple. That's like the clear part to go for, right? When he does it again, Stingray has nowhere else to go. Stingray dodges it, and he's immediately far off the map. Megdi can now do whatever he wants. He can go for that end light. He can go for that end sig to cover. He can go for that side sig if he goes low. It creates so much pressure on Stingray, and he has to act fast. But let's look at this here. This key point in game 3 takes Megdi's deficit and turns it into a positive. The downlight Sair, and then the second downlight, the second just raw Sair to cover the coming back to the map. Points like this on sword are so important. This neutral game is so important. These punishes are so important. Downlight Sair gives you so much room on the map, and Megdi used that to his best capability. He created so much room for himself and created that set win. Back to the casters. Jet Bean playing like a freak. He is looking like a certain weather phenomenon I'm not going to name, but he has the scythe here by himself. He's doing his own thing with it. He's making it look good. Let's talk about this play right here. He misses the first nair, and that's not the end of the world for him. He gets the side light. Let's look at this patience. Let's look at this movement. He dashes forward, and he gets that one end light. This starts a chain of events. You know how Scythe works. When you get that dodge up that he just got, let's just build our little staircase here. That's how he wants to play it out. Click play, look at where he goes. Beautiful juggles from Jet Bean, continuing that string all the way to the top of the map, makes a key lead for himself in game 1. He wants to continue this pressure on into game 2. This time he has the gauntlets in hand. It's not just one weapon, it's all of them. He can play it all, he can do it all. He gets the gauntlets in hand, and he wants to go ahead and hit this nair, reads the dodge down. That's sig usage, that's peak. He angles it perfectly, and I just gotta look at this again, because when I saw it in the game, it was so clean. The weapon throw catches him with the pickup. Oops. Catches him with the one second. Catches him with the pickup on the scythe, and he just plays it out perfectly. Goes for the ground pound, covers the edge. Next game, he's still looking strong. Jet Bean is playing amazing this entire tournament. I'm telling you, if it was up to me, I'd show you an entire montage of him just doing N-Light N6. He's hitting them all. He continues on with that pressure he has, and he does go for another scythe read. He gets this side light. That patience is key there that I want to look at. He gets that first move, he waits it out, and he's able to get the side light and get himself a big advantage because of it. Last game, we've got another one. This game was so important for him to win because you know how game 3s go. If you can turn that around for yourself, you can get a big momentum shift in your favor. He doesn't want that to happen. Jet Bean, he's been playing amazing all day. Let's get another ladder on the way. You can see it moving just how it is. It's beautiful. It's just peak gameplay. He turns him around, gets that first nair, keeps it going. 1 nair, 2 nair, 3 nair. Sair, 4 nair, goes for the recovery. It gets a bit dangerous, but he finds his way back to stage, and he finds his way into the grand finals. Back to the casters. For our European friends there. It is MSI, so people are bringing the full thing they have for us today. And I'm going to play this straight through for you guys. Watch what goes on in this 2v2 game here. So it's already been going on for the most part. And you just hit play here. Wesley is kind of just playing on the corner there. Is it on? Okay. Wesley's just kind of playing on the corner there. He is excellent at that. He keeps his pressure on the side of the map while
Fiend is constantly pushing away Fozzy on the other side, and when Wesley comes back, he's able to add on damage to that. But it becomes even scarier when you go off stage and you just see that, okay, it's way more dangerous than it looked out to be, right? So Wesley, you can see him get the double hits there, and it instantly turns into a complete fumble. Down sig comes out, and a bunch of damage is being put out. But then he continues on with the edge guard, and it looked like this almost every single time someone went off stage. One person would go down, and it feels like Fozzy's doomed here. Wesley still trying to confirm it, and sure, he's going to follow the simple, but every single time this happened, Fiend was up there, waiting for the coverage, waiting for the option, and he takes it as soon as it's available. He covers that recovery, and he makes sure that no one on the blue team is coming back, even though Wesley ends up making it back. That's 2 stocks for nil. They're sitting on 6. They're going to play with that lead, and it continues on in multiple parts of this set. Let's just look at this play right here. Something very light. They knock them both off stage, and Wesley shows no fear. The first thing he does, gets the axe, and he charges it. Look at that coverage. And Fiend, what's he doing? He's unarmed, but he knows what he has to do. He's already waiting to go down there and match the pressure. Wesley's covering this entire wall. Fiend, he's going to come up, do his own thing, but he doesn't even have to, because Wesley's already figured it out. And this offstage gameplay, like I mentioned, it continues on in every single form, even at the very end. When all hope seems lost, it is really lost. Because Wesley's going to come through with just one measly dive kick, and he's going to lose that stock, but Fozzy is going to lose it too, because like I said, that coverage is always there. When Wesley does one thing, Fiend is there to follow it up. I want to look at this so slow again, because it was just that good. Wesley, not as good as we want to pretend, but one stock is always going to be taken when you have these two off stage, and I feel like that was the key point of that set. That's it for this analytical section, and I want to pass it back to the casters. Oh, TWK, I got a story to tell you. It's a story of love, it's a story of loss, it's a story of stock tanking. Pugsy sat on that first stock. Luna had to do the same in the next game. They were really holding on to some stocks, but how they pulled through, it was creativity, it was kill confirms. Luna came through and he showed us some stuff, and I want to start it off right here. This was what evened up the stocks in this game. 1 KO, that's not enough for him. He goes for the mid-air GC. If this isn't creativity, I don't know what is. You're going to see the soft platform start up under him. You see the end light catch the dodge down, and watch this weapon throw angle. It is peak gameplay. It is perfection. I'm already looking at it. Look at this Kobe lineup. It's perfect. I swear this is how it happens. A bit lower, but you get the point. He ends up sniping him out the map, and that is just one piece of the puzzle. It continues on into the next couple stocks. Pugsy is still tanking on that same stock, and they're going to go for it, and Luna is going to clean the board solo. And, I mean, this is Taro's gameplay. The weapon throw down into the nair. He continues on with the scoop on the other side for a double knockout, and this was Luna's game plan the entire set. He was just racking up kills. Another one, they're already in the deep red, and Luna has axe. You know what that means? It's KO time. And this just goes on the entire time. Endlight's going to send one away, and the weapon throw again. He never misses with it while Pugsy cleans up behind him. Plays like this, kill confirms like this, is how you bring a 2v2 set to a closing like that. Now, I have a lot of clips here. You'd be surprised if I told you that went to a game 3. Let's get to the montage reel that Luna was building up for himself. He goes for one kill there, and he scoops him up. Watch this movement. Watch this reaction. The recovery comes out. Boom. That's one nair. Luna, knowing just the limitations of his character, he chased dodges straight up. He's looking for it. Look at that positioning. What's he going to go for? Is it obvious? Points in chat if you know what he's going to go for. It's that second nair to go through that weapon throw, because that weapon throw just doesn't hit Luna. Luna's just different with it. That's another double knockout for Luna. That's how good he's playing this set. And at this point, they're playing games with their food. Delta just back on the map. Luna, something Java likes to do, something every Hammer player likes to do. He goes for the recovery, sends him right under that Mammoth Fortress, and that scoop is going to bounce him off the top. True combo into the next recovery. It's just Hammer 101. If you don't know this, you need to learn it, because it is clean and it is confirmed every single time, guys. Just an extra one. They like playing with their food. Zyra couldn't get back to the map. The downer confirms it. The ground pound confirms it. That is Luna. That's why they won those championships they won, and that's why they're here right now looking for that top 8 spot. I want to send it back to the casters. That was a good analyst session, so we're going to wrap it up there. Sparky, thank you very much for such an awesome pass. But let's talk about the passes in-game, the combos that happen, and the edge guards that happen to push the blue team Simple Fozy into a winning position. I loved that comp, that Wushang and that Dalsum Rayman. They looked really good together, but so did the red team. The red team looked also really solid till key points off stage where blue team used their superior teamwork, their superior advantage state to make red team just crumbled. And Java's no fool off stage. Java knows what he's doing when he goes off stage. The casters mentioned it. You've seen his hammer gameplay, but the gauntlet gameplay is coming down with a snipe. He lines that up after his teammate gets the initial spear ground pound, and Java loses that stock so early. It's one thing to lose one stock, but when you're taking 2 off stage, it's a completely different game because they get both of those on the save. Let's look at that one more time. As Megdi goes down for the obvious save, Simple's already lined up, and Fozy is already lined up as well. That's a double edge guard, and you don't see those often. It comes from the best of the best. Those are the best teams covering every option. If Fozy doesn't get that straight ground pound going down, Simple has this entire area moving down in the T-post. He's a helicopter. If you're in silver, you know that helicopter. You're scared of it. They're scared of it too right here, all right? Next game, it doesn't change, and I mentioned that pass. Sparky gave me one, but it wasn't any pass that's going to win us this tournament. Not like this pass right here. The end light comes through. He sends it back. The end sig comes through, and it doesn't hit one. It hits both. It sends both very far away. And like I mentioned, that offstage gameplay, it's never going to end. Look at Fozy with this micro spacing. Look at this ground pound positioning. Leads the dodge in. And honestly, if Java wasn't there to take it, Megdi would have for him. That's just red teamwork there. You can see where their minds are at. It's clean. It's perfect. Let's hit play. Look at that. And the side sig covers what's left. It's excellent play from the blue team. EU still has hope in these two, and they're pushing forward. I want to send it back to the casters after that game. You're giving me too much love, Sparky. In contrast to EU, they're not giving Simple enough love. I'm going to give it to him. I got the download right here. Simple, he's playing out of his mind. Fozy, he's not playing any worse. Let's see how they just took out C2 from NA. Now, I'm a Pugsy fanboy. I'm such a Pugsy fanboy that I even let him stay with me because I'm just that much of a Pugsy fanboy. But Pugsy, Simple might take the room next time. I'm so serious. He was so clean in this game. Look at this flow. Look at the momentum they carry together. That double recovery was one thing, but Simple takes it a step further, and he follows up on Luna to get this first stock, which creates a certain situation that I'm going to point into, all right? Look at Luna up there. He's going to be gone very soon. Just click play. And then immediately after that, the weapon start coming through, all right? Pugsy's going to try to come back into these two people. Maybe he shouldn't. It's not a smart idea. It's a 2v1. You got to wait on the side. You see people shark in these situations. They wait for their teammate to come back. Pugsy, he's being a bit greedy, and Simple just pushes forward on him. He takes him out. Pugsy doesn't even have room on the stage to move. It's flow like that. It's situations like that that gave that blue team the lead in multiple games and put them in a situation to win. Let's look at another game right here in game. I think this is game 3 after red team took game 2. It continues on. They start playing in such a way, such a motion where they're together at all time. Look at the gauntlet combos. Look at them following each other up perfectly. And it continues on to game 5 where they put it together and it's a win for them. I want to look at this game 5 because it is so clean. I'm going to look at it once, and then I'm going to bring it back to you. A 2v1 combo. We've seen it all before. Luna's on the map, so this really shouldn't be happening, but it is happening. What are we going to do about it? Luna's going to throw his weapon, but that's not going to stop the Wushang and Sig, and he doesn't stop there. Simple doesn't want anything to do with Luna. Pugsy's on his mind. Pugsy says he wants the hotel room. He just got it right there with that side Sig. He's too clean on it. He snipes Pugsy on his way back to stage. Pugsy had a lot of options here. He could have gone lower. He could have gone higher. Maybe he rushed it. But the side sig was true. It controlled that stage area. On the other side, Fozy's taking damage, but it's not going to matter because Simple doesn't just stop on one. He gets both. He comes through. The weapon throw's there, but the end sig's there too. And it's going to send Luna very far out. Not going to KO him, but you don't have much left to work with in that situation. And I don't have much left to tell you about this game. Back to the casters. Sheepy, you need to yell at Ajax because he keeps doing my job for me. Sparky, you don't have to listen to the players anymore. I got you. Don't worry. I'm here, and I'm about to talk to you about what went wrong for the red team, Boomy and Snowy, and what went wrong for the blue team. I knew I'd be up here because these two teams have a lot of meaning to me. As an NA resident, these are the NA teams. I was hoping either one of these guys would win. It looks like it can only be one left. Boomy, I've known him for a long time. I've played with him for a long time. Faison, same story. But let's talk about what he did with Cody, not me, to win this set. Now, we mentioned it. There was an insane stat for it. Snowy hit Boomy a lot. He hit him a lot more than everyone else was hitting their own teammate combined, right? And that's an insane stat when you think about it because that's a lot of damage wasted. Even though the force isn't as high, the damage is. And I want to look at key power plays on the map that showed the difference between the red and the blue team. On the map, the blue team played so in sync, so clean together. Faison gets this full 3-piece combo off. And then look at this movement, look at this protection. He goes high, he tries to escape that Boomy Gunsair with the chase dodge he has available to him, and that's perfectly fine. Look at the movement, follow the line. He ends up above Boomy. The weapon throw is going to stuff him. Cody's going to come in with some more damage. Snowy's away. Look at that power play, and then look what it turns into. It's more than just that. It comes back on stage, and the damage is just continuing to go. The double downlight into the Sair. That's an evened up game where they had a deficit because they, on stage, avoid each other. They hit 2 people at once while they're not getting hit. They have the follow-ups they need because they're both free at any given moment. This one is a long one. This just shows how much time these plays last for them. This just shows how much time they have to even up these stocks. Boomy, fresh on his stock. Faison, yellow on his stock. Look at that. That's 2 hits already. Boomy and Snowy are stacked the entire time. Faison's going to take advantage of it. Look at how many people you can hit when they're just going to team up on you like that. They're just going to come together. Faison moves forward. More damage add up. Doesn't get hit by Snowy. Follows it up to the T, to the top of the map. And that is Faison's place as a 2s player. I don't want to be the one to tell you, but he plays support. He likes to be there for his teammate. Cody, he's always there to follow up. Faison, he's always there to make it happen. It goes on and on and on. Even this play never ends. They're back on the map, and look, they're still going for it. That's how many hits now? 5 hits in a row. The red team has not retaliated. Last game, you saw what happened. It's plays like this. Again, a double end line on both people. It's always both people with Faison. He's never hitting one. He's making sure the value is doubled no matter what. And then the side stick comes through. He's just so clear on it. Snowy, I don't know if that's what you want. I don't know if you want to come in there and take that damage on your teammate on that side stick when Cody is free to follow up on you hitting both of them. It's dangerous. It's risky. He goes for it anyway. You can see Boomy takes the brunt of the damage, and Cody is right there and ready with his axe. He doesn't find it, but it's not helping their team at all taking that much damage, especially in a position like this where Cody Travis hit on that 8 defense and Faison's just playing so extraordinary. I miss him so much. I'm sorry, I just miss him so much. But you probably missed the game, so I'm going to send it back to the casters now. Because experience and Made, no one thought they'd be here. I definitely didn't think they'd be here. Thankfully, you guys don't have to see my predictions because you would flinch. But let's talk about some flinching in-game. Experience and Made, their option coverage is insane. The red team, Fiend and West, they showed they have a lot of combos, they have a lot of team play, they have a lot of spatial coverage with those big weapons, the Lance, the Spear, but it was not enough for what Experience and Made do with these double gauntlets. I'm going to hit play here, and this was one of the first times I noticed it, and it gets even scarier in the first game. Experience just kind of plays, and he's aware of what he's doing. He's going for options that may not work, and you see he gets punched there, but Made kind of always shadows behind him. As soon as Made misses that one option, he doesn't turn back and look for the fight with Wesley. He has his mind on Fiend, and even though this looks a bit awkward when you play it through, it was not a clash on the red and blue team. It was a straight hit on the red and blue team, and a clash between the blue team. The dare and the recovery from Made actually clashed together, but the force went through on Fiend. That's going to lose a stock there. That's going to put them in the lead. But I want to show you how deep this kind of passing and option coverage of, okay, you take this and I'm going to do this with it, really goes. Let's look at this right here, all right? I'm going to just push this very slow forward. Fiend has to come back on stage, and Experience, he's kind of making it look like he's not sure whether he's going to stay off stage or on stage. So Fiend, he needs to make the decision on what he's going to use. He uses Made. He has so much stage control. Wesley, where are you, bro? Your teammate needs you. Fiend's been helping you the entire time. You got to help him back. but it's too late. Made catches that dodge, and when you don't have your dodge on gauntlets, it's already written. But it gets written again in almost the exact same way, but flip. Experience forces out options. Wesley, nowhere to go after this weapon throw. Doesn't want to lose that stock that easily. Another weapon throw is going to stuff the recovery. The dodge is gone. He has to jump here. Made is in the wings waiting. He's so clean in it. He's so patient. And that's just so perfect. It continues on to close the game out. Made and Experience, they're playing together. They're a well-oiled machine. The options are gone against. This is Lance. You know where it's going when they start charging out. I don't need to draw the line for you. You got it. It's pointing at it, bro. You got it. Just use your eyes. You're going to see this right here. As soon as Wesley uses that dodge, that second recovery, Made is waiting for the side sig. He's clean. It's a spike. It's cross. He's not making it back even if you're rolling. I'm sorry. Fiend, you're going to have to 1v2. You couldn't make it, but you still have your chance to lose the bracket, and the casters are going to tell you all about that. Oh, Foda, you give me too much credit. 2v2 World Championship, that was years ago. We're talking about MSI 2022. It's great. It's beautiful. The offstage gameplay is where South America shines today. They're going absolutely wild with the offstage. That was just one play, but it was not enough to save the blue team from what the red team had to offer. The blue team, they had their combos, they had their moments, they had their passes. The red team, they had it and more. They had it in value. They had it crazy. There's one mistake from the blue team, and instantly Fiend pushes onto Simple. You can see Fozy, he's going to lose his stock there from his own teammate. That's a team KO. It's not good for him. But they've been hitting these all day, just these sword end lights into the follow-up, high force Algrim side sig, and this is champion mastery. Look at where that Algrim is placed. A normal player is thinking, all right, let me get back on stage here. You've got me some room on stage. He's thinking, why am I going back on stage when this guy can just lose his stock right now? He lines himself up for that side sig, and boom, the GC comes through. He's so consistent. He's so clean with it. And it's always happening on stage. That's where that GC mechanic shines. It's like they're always doing it. On the next play, it's the same exact thing. Wesley is off stage. He throws the weapon down. He's looking comfortable. He picks it back up. That's one KO. But Simple, man. You can't count Fiend out. He comes back. It's one hit. There, the casters mentioned it earlier. One hit is all it takes for a guy like Fiend. He's so clean with it. Fiend's been here for years. He knows that downer is going to KO. He goes back on stage, and they're looking for the next play. But the next play is back off stage. West immediately moving off stage. The dare comes through. It's Axe. He's looking for more. The ground pound comes through. Fozy, he's trying to retaliate, help his teammate out. But look at the lack of fear from West as Fiend hovers this section around him. He knows that if anything gets dire, he has his teammate. He's out of jumps. He's grayed out. He doesn't care. He knows he has support behind him. He knows what he has to work with. He gets hit. He hits them back. He doesn't make it back, but that's a stock for a stock, and they had the lead. They're playing so flawless. It continues on ever and ever. When I reviewed them earlier, it was the same thing. It was consistent offstage gameplay. Look at that ground pound. Look at the dare. It's so perfect. I'm assuming it's the same clip, but it's just so clean. I had to watch it twice. I'm just that much of a fan. And we've also been mentioning how clean Fozy is at holding these stocks. It doesn't matter. Look at that Algrim mastery. I mean, Koslix must have won the money match, but it doesn't look like he's the one that plays Algrim at peak because this dare reads the dodge over. It's so clean. It's so clean, and the double weapon throw, maybe one wasn't going to do it. Maybe Wesley's wasn't enough, but Fiend forces the dodge out. And boom, he has nothing left. They have nothing left. They're out of the tournament. Third place, not bad, but grand final is coming up, and I'm so excited for what South America has to offer. The run back against NA is coming up, and the casters will show you to it. Luna's having a pretty good first LAN event. He's looking super clean so far. I want to take a look into what exactly won him that set there. That set was down to the wire in Game 5. It looked like a difference of aggression between Boomy and Luna there. Luna pushing that game from the beginning in a way where it was like Boomy didn't really have room to breathe, and Boomy was doing it too because Boomy and Luna, they're arguably some of the most aggressive players we have in North America, and I want to look at this play right here. I'm going to slow it down for you guys here in a second, but the first clean through and through play is that right there where he reads Boomy's dodge the first time and then does it a second time, and it's right here that gets me. It's right here that makes me go, wow, this guy just doesn't even give you a second to look at it. He chases Boomy immediately, and Boomy's not expecting this either. He gets hit by that gauntlet and it's just like that. It's like one play happens, then the next play happens, and you're thinking, okay, let me reset, let me give myself room to breathe, let's try to play this game. And Luna says no, he gets that stock, and the game's completely even. He brings that one to a closing, and it's the same thing coming into the next game. He hits you, he whiffs his hit after getting a couple in a row, and Boomy takes this as a time to get his own hit. And like I said, that aggression, but it's a two-way streak. After Boomy gets his hit, he's a bit too aggressive. He takes it off stage to the Scythe, and Luna takes that as a chance to turn it around. I want to play this slowly for you guys. You guys know how Scythe works. You don't need it spelled out to you. It's that active input. It's those hitboxes. They're going to eat you alive if you're not careful. Let's look at that slow motion once again. He hits that Sair, and he turns it around. He gets his footing back on the ground because he needs to reset his jumps. He has to make sure he has what it takes to go down there and deal with Boomy. Gets that one, turns it around with the active input, and this is where it gets really scary when you're playing against Scythe. He's caught out. Of course, he missed inputs. He doesn't want to throw him away. He throws him towards the stage, maybe to get that chase dodge, help him get back to stage faster. Second one, another pull, turns him around. Boomy knows it. He's clocked out. He's dead. He turns it around, just jumps off. And in this last game, it's exceptionally noticeable with the aggression. It's literally nonstop. So this one, I'm going to slow it down once again. He gets hit by that Sair. Boomy, he's trying to find his footing one more time. And Luna's just hovering around him. He gets this down there. You can see Boomy's putting a bit too many attacks out, and it's this right here. He spot dodges in place. He's trying to figure out, all right, Boomy has a lot of room here to work with. He has this entire line of area to move either direction. Where is he going to go? He's going to go in this direction. I'm going to follow him with it. I'm going to get this recovery, but I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to touch the ground. I'm going to weapon throw. That's another recovery taken from Luna, and then it's just like water for him. He plays it out, catches the weapon that Boomy's going to go for, reads the spot dodge, and it's a beautiful side stick to close out the set. Congratulations to Luna. I know you guys want more games, so I'm going to send you back to the casters. I mean, I like Fiend, but I don't think anyone's going to convince me to eat pineapples on pizza. Not today, not ever. But we do have some stuff from Fiend here to look at. Fiend was playing really exceptional today. I really like the gauntlet reads he went for. I really like the spirit reads he ran for. And we're going to look at how all of those came together to win him that set there. Starting off from the first game, Fiend was playing really exceptional. He had the gauntlets in hand, and it felt like Snowy's really the gauntlet king in NA right now. He's the guy that plays gauntlets, but when it comes through with it, Fiend kind of had him figured out here. You can see this first nair grab. It doesn't actually reset Snowy's jumps, and Fiend knows that, so he's already hunting for it. Snowy has his jump available. I mean, his dodge available. He has one jump, and he dodges away. He goes for that jump. He doesn't bother to reset his jumps. Fiend knows that. He snipes him out. Let's look at that movement once again, how fast he's on the ground and chasing after Snowy for whatever option he goes for so he can react to it. He gets that dodge, caught out in the air, and he continues on with it with the freest Sidelight recovery ever seen. That was really good from Fiend, but I want to look at some adaptation mid-game that really solidified what it meant to be Fiend in this set. Let's look at the Sidelight. It's a common thing for Spirit players to go for the Sidelight and try to get the reaction or figure it out later with the read. He does nothing there. It actually doesn't connect. Well, it connects with the recovery, but it's not exactly what he was looking for. Next time, he does the same thing, and he goes for an option that covers that same dodge with even more to look at. Let's look at this small area here where Snowy is going to dodge back in, and this time Fiend is waiting for it. He's going for the double downlight into the recovery. Very clean stuff from Fiend. Very clean close off to that game there. Continuing on to the last game, I want to look at this exceptional gauntlet combo. He reads the dodge up, turns around, catches him, and it's a full run through the entire map, and Snowy can't even get the punish off. He's way too scared. Look at that aerial coverage. The down sig may have not been it, but Fiend, with the clean spot dodge, goes in with the quick punish. Congrats to Fiend for taking that set on top of one of NA's finest. So he's going to be going far in this bracket. I'm excited to see it. I'm sure the casters are excited to see it too. Please stop talking about pineapple pizza, but I'm going to send it back to you guys.
Thank you.
Champion, we just saw fall to the loser bracket. Megdi, congrats on your top 3 at your first ever LAN. Let's look at how he got that top 3 placement. I'm talking very, very good neutral, very, very good aggression, very, very good gauntlets and sword gameplay coming out. In the first clip I got for you guys here. Meg D with the gauntlets is moving clean. He's going for the basic stuff that you guys are used to. He's getting the sidelights. He's getting the dodge reads, and he turned them into nairs. This clean three-piece, but this is the thing where I really like to see come through. This is as a sword player myself, you know, I've got the Koji Tori. This stuff is really clean to me. He just kind of boxes himself in here. He doesn't want to move anywhere. He wants to stay exactly where he is, and he's waiting for Sandstorm out of jumps up there, keeping his eye on him to come down and land on this ground. He's saying, all right, you know what? You have nothing left. I'm not going to force an option where I'm going to end up in danger. I'm not going to try to make a silly move here because that scythe there will scoop you right up. He waits for Sandstorm to come straight down on top of him, and he goes for that downlight. It's so clean. He dashes forward. The movement's so nice, and that doesn't stop right there. He goes for the weapon throw, and it's the common play. I feel like everyone can do this now. Like, a while ago, this was considered so clean, but it's gone to a point where we're just, hold on, let me get back to it. We're getting to a point where everyone, and I swear the grandmother can go for this clean play where it's the GC downlight, flipped around, and get that ground pound confirmed. It's so clean, and that was just one of the many edge guards that Megdi was going for. Same thing here. He fights his way back to the stage with this sword gameplay. I felt like we saw him play a lot of sword there, but he's just so darn good at it. He gets this snare to fight his way back on the stage, and fighting your way on stage against Scythe is no easy task. But again, with that movement, with that sword, and that grounded downlight, he catches Sandstorm through the dodge. He pushes off, and it's right here again. You see him? He stops his movement. He doesn't want to go too far off stage. He stops. He builds that same little house that we saw last time. He doesn't want to go too far off stage. He doesn't want to move anywhere. He knows where Sandstorm has to be. He knows what options Sandstorm has. It's clean. It's methodical. I love it. End light comes through, catches the dodge. Weapon throw is going to confirm that down there. And then, you know, you can't leave your boy hanging. Don't give him even a chance to come back to stage. Take him off. Take me off. Send it back to the casters. I really enjoy it, Magdi. Have a good one. I'm going to tell you exactly how that worked out for Luna. Luna has been playing extremely well. That's why it's going to be an NA top 3, as I predicted, but with different players. Don't worry about that. I have the game for you here. Luna is going to show you how to turn an inch into a mile. He's been playing crazy on his punish game. In this clip right here, clip number 1, we see Fiend go for a really explosive play on his own. He was kind of feeling himself. The game was even up until this point, but as soon as he goes for this GC, Luna says, oh, that's it. The game's over. You shouldn't have done that. I can get away with it. You can't. The weapon throw is basically confirmed at that angle because of the lack of dodge from Fiend, and Luna knows that. He follows him off stage, and I want to look at this dodge because Luna knows Fiend has a dodge. He knows not to go for his attack just yet. Just look at this line that he follows on Fiend. It's like just like this circle where it's like, okay, we're both going to move in this direction, and look at how I'm going to ground pound you perfectly put. You can't make it back to the stage. You can't touch that wall. You have basically nothing you can do. If you go straight to the left, and I'm going to show it to you right here, if you go straight to the left with that dodge instead of following me diagonally like you do, it's still not going to work out for you. There's just nowhere to go. He goes diagonally up, but if it was a straight to the left dodge, nothing's going to change there. And continuing on with that punish game, let's look at this play from Luna there. He opens up with the weapon throw. He punishes the downlight. Good for him. That's not going to be the end of Fiend's stock. Continuing on the nair, and that's where Luna goes, all right, you shouldn't have done that. The dare comes out. Fiend has a lot of options here. He has a lot of places he can go, but he's tunneled on getting back to that map lickety-split. He didn't like the offstage game he was playing last stock. He lost a quick one, but Fiend catches the dodge up, gets the dare. Again, that guaranteed weapon throw from that angle. It's so clean. Luna gives himself a 2-stock lead there, and he's sitting comfy in winners finals. We are going to take a trip into the loser bracket, though, and I think the casters are going to take me there while I go make sure I'm getting all of this games going down. I want to talk about what Luna did, but first I want to mention this Thor pick because he's played a couple characters in tournament that we've seen. We've seen the Taros on the Roman's Reigns. We've seen the Mordex, and we actually saw it today. But the Taros, the Thor is something new because it brings the orb to the table, and we haven't actually seen him play orb many times in bracket. But he's actually really sick at it, and I want to show off some key points on his orb gameplay here. It's really interesting to look at, and look at this edge guard situation that he puts Magdi in. After getting the sidelight Sair, he actually dashes off and gets his ground pound, and he reads Megdi coming up and gets the Sair. Now, this is just one clean edge guard. There's not much to really dissect out of it after the dare. I just thought it was really interesting and shows that, okay, he's not just coming in here with one pick. He has, like, multiple picks that he's pulling out through the tournament, and he can play orb. And this is something sick that I actually want to slow down and look at. After he gets that one string there, he keeps it going, and he actually ends up in a losing position coming up against Gauntlet Ground Pound, and he goes and says, you know what, actually I'm winning here because I'm going to nair you. Again, And that's just more damage added up. He gets stared back down. That's no problem for me. I'm going to nair you again and again. And he just keeps it going. He adds up so much damage. Megdi already in the red, in a position where it looks like, okay, I'm the one winning here, but I'm getting naired over and over and over again. It's 4 nairs in a row now. And continue on to the last game. Luna clean off stage as always. This orb in hand, he's just been doing so much work with it. He's clean with it. The dare comes out. He wants to move forward, keep the pressure up. He lets Megdi back on just for a second, but when Megdi tries to make that space for himself, tries to get back on the map for real, he gets GCs highlighted. It's not a Sair that you're used to, it's the Nair. He reads the dodge down. He's been getting these dodge down reads consistently throughout the entire day. He looks clean with it, turns it into a dare, turns it into a perfect edge guard with the weapon pickup. And yeah, Megdi going into this grand finals, he's someone to look out for. It is grand finals though, that means someone has to come up and beat him, and the casters are going to walk you through who.
Luna sitting in the grand finals, a guaranteed top 2.
That was a nail-biter set. Machete's going to go home, and Fiend. I could say it multiple times. He's playing out of his mind. That's a top 3 for South America, and I want to show you how Fiend got himself in that position. It was so clean. Every single game that set felt pretty close, and in a set like that where things are close, it's going to be one moment that really goes, okay, this is how I'm going to win this game, even though everything is just like bundled together in a blaze of glory. And I want to look at this right here. This is something I mentioned a bit multiple times like yesterday, where it's like, okay, this is a habit some people have, a lot of NA players have, maybe some EU players have, where they'll jump after they wait for an attack. Fiend and Wes, a lot of Brazilian players I was watching don't have that habit. You see he misses this end light, and it's like, okay, nothing happened. I don't care that I missed that end light. And Machete is already rushing up to go for that punish, and he's playing Spear. He's thinking, oh my gosh, thank you. It's a downlight. It puts him in a terrible spot, but add on top of that South America decided to be the best edge guarders in the world today. He runs off, gets that clean dare. Machete's out of a dodge. That means he has to recover. He has to go up that wall, and he gets side sig, gets sent back, and Fiend has a good lead for himself. It's been like that the entire set. They've had tiny leads. They're in dark red. The next person comes, they wipe it off. Fiend decided that wasn't going to happen in the last game. He felt like he had to end it quick. So a swift breeze of attacks. He hits the side sig. He keeps in moving forward. This is the fastest I saw this set get played at this end. It was like a bit of, okay, passing back and forth. And all of a sudden, Fiend decides he's going to completely aggress on Machete. He's going to push all the way in. He gets the beautiful dodge read. We've seen him go for multiple times before. That's the double downlight. He gets a ton of extra credit that Duke always like to talk about. I think Duke wants to go back to school with how much extra credit he goes for. But Fiend uses his for the victory. That's top 3 for him. I'm really excited to see what happens. I'm going to send back to the casters.